Hello, hello, it's Jeff from jeffrey-thomas.com, and let's take a look at the Beatles' Drive My Car. So you can print this out off my website and we can follow through together. First up, the right-hand letter names: P for the thumb, I for the first finger, M for your middle finger, and A for the ring finger. I know Paul uses a pick on this, but I'm going to be going ahead and showing you with fingers. Hope you don't mind. And first up, there's a pickup on this tune, meaning that you're not coming in on beat 1, and it's an interesting pickup. So I'm going to walk through and count and play for you. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so what's happening with the pickup is you have a measure of 4, 4, and then a measure of 9, 8. And it's really kind of an odd amount of beats. I don't really know if the Beatles were like thinking to do that, but this is sort of how it works out to count it. I'm sure you could do it just in straight 4, but if you're going to try and match the record, it would be 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then you're into the lick. So basically just a little bit about counting. When you're at the 4, 4, you're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. As soon as you hit the measure of 9, 8, you need to count at an eighth note pace. So that measure of 9, 8 is going to become 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, boom, and then you're back into 4, 4. I know it's kind of weird. It's a simple meter to a compound meter. And once again, I don't know if the Beatles were thinking that or whatever, but that is kind of how it works out to be counted. Also, you'll notice that there's a hammer-on from 5 to 7, and then that hammer-on is a grace note, so the 5 is written with a little eighth note looking thing with a dash through it. That means it's instant on the N of 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, that's important to point out. And then 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then you're into the lick. Now, on the subject of the verses, I have written three different verses for you. So the first one is going to be kind of like the guitar lick. Okay, so let me walk through the verse option number 1. Grace note slide from 7 to 9. Pull off from 9 to 7. And a slide back to 5. Okay, that's what you would do for the first measure. Then the next chord up would be G, and you're going to play 3rd fret, 4th string. Slide from 5 to 7. Pull off from 7 to 5, and then a slide back to 3. Let me go ahead and run this for you with time so it makes more sense. I'll do it at 80 for you. Okay, verse option number 1. Ready, go. Okay. So that gives you a little perspective on what you need to do with the left hand. There's a lot of sliding around and hammer on and pull off and stuff. It's very cool. Fun tune to play. Verse option number 2. So interesting, I hunted down a bunch of footage on Paul playing this. Couldn't find anything of him playing this with the Beatles, but I found stuff like with him on his own. And he really trims the line down a lot. You know, he's singing and playing, so I can't do it. So anyway, verse option number 2 is a little different than following the guitar lick. You're going to start here, 5th fret, 3rd string, and then, okay, you can play either the 2nd string open or come back to the 3rd string at the 5th fret. So let me get that measure for you again. Right? Or, okay, then moving to the next measure. let's run that verse option number 2 at 80. Ready, go. So notice those grace notes are instant, right? You don't want to hang on them or you're going to throw off the timing, right? Okay, that's verse option number 2. Verse option number 3 was a video that I snagged from the X Factor from 2009, so it's pretty recent. Paul's still around playing, and he's trimmed the line down even simpler. It's interesting to notice how he's like varying this line. So verse option number 3. Okay. Each one of these verses runs 3 times. I need to point that out. That's why there's a double bar, double dot with the 3 times, okay? So let me run verse option number 3 for you at 80. Ready, go. Okay. Once you've done either one of the verses that you want to do, you can mix them up. And what was kind of frustrating about transcribing this is he changes it all the time. Like, he'll do it one way one time through the verse, then the second time he does it a little bit different. So I think it's got a pretty loose feel to it, and you can just have fun with it. It might be good to stay with one for all 3 times until you get the hang of it. Okay, moving on. We are on the 3rd line of notation down. We're starting with the 3rd string open. I'll play and count. 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, 2, and 3, and 4, E, and 4, E, and. Okay, so 16th notes there. And then we're into the chorus. So let me run from the 2 measures before the chorus. Ready, go. Chorus. That was the 2 times repeating the chorus. Now we're on the next line down. My favorite part. Okay, and that runs you through the majority of the section of the tune. Back up to a verse, and there's only really one other part to the tune, and that is the ending fade, which is make sure you're watching this right hand too, because I'm alternating. If it's difficult for you to alternate, just go ahead and use a pick, okay? But if you want to start working on that, just go ahead and keep an eye on how I'm doing things here. So let me run the chorus for you all the way through. Actually, the 2 measures before the chorus. 2, ready, go. Chorus. Moving on. Okay. So, last thing I decided to do for you is instead of writing more scales, I went ahead and mapped out some chords. So if you go up to the top of the page, you're going to see some chord diagrams. The first is D over F sharp. So I am here at the 7th fret with my 1st finger, and then the 3rd finger comes over to 9 on the 3rd string, and then in my right hand I am just going P-I-M. Okay, and then as you can see in the verses I've written, the first measure for the verse would be D over F sharp. So let's say you're going to play chords. 1, 2, 3, 4. The next chord for the verse would be G. Okay, so G is fingers 4, 3, and 1. Then you would go back to D over F sharp. I'm just kind of comping chords for the verse, right? To G. And then you would go to so this is second and third finger up at the 17th fret, and then playing the third string open. Kind of block chord and springing away. This is a huge advantage of why this rocks, being able to control the bass with your right hand. Okay? It's just sweet. And that is the chord that's happening. You can do something in between. Okay, then that takes you right to the chorus, right? Chords for the chorus would be B minor. B, you can drive my car. And I went ahead and put a G7 there instead of a G. Right? You could do that little walking down from the B minor. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3. And if you want to be super cool, you can go. That's the little piano part. So here's the chorus. Okay, so kind of trying to rip off the piano parts, putting chords in. Actually, chord voicings that work. I mean, these aren't bad for the bass. You know, it's not like playing a big, giant, muddy guitar chord. So, I hope that was kind of fun. And I decided to put some chords in to break it up a little bit instead of just bombarding you with scales. And anyway, if there's any questions on this, get a hold of me. I am teaching once again on Skype, Uvu, Yahoo Messenger, Windows Live with webcams. So there's no reason why we can't hook up and continue studying. So anyway, I hope that was fun, and I will see you next time.